Species.live. This is Scott, and I am back here with Maral and Shreya. We just got done not really liking Booge, just Hot Stars Booge. It was just not a great film. And now we're going back to Prime Video, and this is Malik. And I know that Shreya, you watched this. What is Malik? What is it about? Before we jump into the review, give us the premise.
Sure. So basically, actually, I didn't even know the conflict of this story existed, which it makes perfect sense now I think about it. But I guess I have always been too focused on the conflict between India and Pakistan to notice any other types of conflict happening. But this story follows the conflict between a Muslim and a Christian village that is currently living in complete harmony. And they have a Muslim leader. And I don't know how to explain it specifically, but their version of government officials or whoever is in their administrative positions believes that the man who is leading their town is too progressive in his visions. Essentially, they're oh man, he's they're scared he's going to step on some toes that's gonna or step on their toes specifically. So They try to get him eliminated, assassinated, killed, gotten rid of. Somehow they're just somebody come get rid of this guy. And throughout the movie, this man believes he's no, my whole town is behind me. Nobody can kill me. Nobody can assassinate me. And this whole story progresses where his wife's brother's son, who goes to jail for some small bomb related crime, I think the police end up trying to get him to kill his own uncle, and that who is the leader of this town. His name is Ali, and he's the leader of this town. I think he's played by Fahad, who was fantastic throughout the whole movie.
That guy has a fan following. He was a
crazy
fan following. He's legend
with his acting. I could not when I tell you every time he entered a scene, it was so good. And again, the story basically follows them trying to kill him, and then it gets into some really deep family drama. And that family drama talks about his wife is, by the way, Christian. So that family drama talks about why the wife's brother doesn't like him and why he's getting his son to kill Ali in jail. I know that was a little confusing. The movie is just if you don't fully understand the relationship, it takes that's the downside of this movie. It takes a bit of time to understand the relationship of everybody and why there's interfamilial conflict that is indicative of the exterior environment. So everything that's going on in the family, for example, his wife who marries this Muslim guy, Ali, she's basically oh no, do I take sides? Does the religion really matter in love? And then, for example, her brother, who's fully Christian, represents the Christian community of this town. And then his son, who was completely raised Christian, is oh, well, I believe in harmony with the Muslims, but is it really fair? Should I be siding with my own people? So each person represents the conflict that's happening within the town. And the story ends really well because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the ending at all. But basically, we do find out that it is the police and the administration that's causing this town to fall apart. And that's how the conflict between the Muslims and the Christians start. It's not actually by the people, it's by people with ulterior motives and their own political agendas. So I thought it was an excellent, I guess, to be completely fair, I don't actually know how the full conflict played out in real life. I believe there were parts of the story that were based off of real life incidents. So I'm not entirely sure how that ended up. But in the movie, it was a really good reflection or capture of how politics play such a strong role when it comes to religion and why so many of these conflicts exist, regardless of how the people actually feel towards each other. My thoughts, I would say I would rate it an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good for people who are being introduced to the Muslim Christian conflict for the first time. This was a really good, easy segue into understanding it. However, story does cut some edges. I will say that for sure. They make everything a little more oh yeah, we're all going to end up happy ever after in this fairy tale. And then the ending just hits you right in the throat. So
Interesting.
favorite.
Interesting. Okay. So 8 out of 10. It's pretty hard to say. I mean, that's a strong recommendation. Okay.
I agree. And then I think there are some reviews online that definitely agree with me. Like the Hindustani Times compared it to Gangs of Wasseypur, which I think we had that we were like, oh,
we have a
like
fan here of Gangs of Wasseypur.
Yeah, exactly. In case
Wow.
anyone doesn't know, Scott is a giant fan of Gangs of Wasseypur.
Hey, but Scott, why don't we do this? Why don't you watch it today or tomorrow over the weekend and tell us if it is that great? Because we're gonna do the online review by tomorrow as well. Because now that we have a video to kind of go with it, we'll do the online review of it, Shreya, if you don't mind writing like 2 paragraphs or something. I mean,
Sure.
you have a format, yeah? We do a bluff, which is bottom line up front. This is what the story is about, and then we do a little analysis on it, and then we put a video with it.
Yeah, sure. I got you. I think it does fall short of Gangs of Wasseypur. Like,
There you
by
go.
this much.
There
Yeah,
you
this
go.
much.
Yeah.
You might need to watch it. It's only 2 hours. Watch it.
Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Manoj Bajpayee. I mean, come on, man. It's tough to beat.
It's in Malayalam though, which is crazy. So I
Oh.
understood the
It's
whole
the same.
story.
It's the
through
same
subtitles.
for him. That's what I thought. That's why I gave him
Yeah.
Netrikan to watch, because whether it's Hindi or Malayalam, it's the same for.
I feel you, Scott. I can't speak Hindi either. So like I am subtitles on top of subtitles.
Okay, I don't mind reading a movie. I
So you're
vastly
telling me
prefer-
I'm the only one who speaks Hindi here?
Yep.
Yeah, G. I know that. I know G, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, all right. So, what are we going to listen to on our way out?
We're going to listen to this song that's almost reached 1 billion views on YouTube, and it's called
What?
Lut Gaye. That's because this video has Imran Hashmi in it, and Imran Hashmi, for some reason, I mean, imagine a guy who doesn't even look like a hero, is passable looking, doesn't, for some reason.
Yes,
he
I
was
can
a
imagine
serial-
a guy who's passable looking. I can.
with a lot of
Imagine.
hair, though.
Oh,
But
okay.
Indians
Yeah.
and
Magnificent hair. Yeah.
totally. But this guy, for some reason, each one of his movies had amazing music, just crazy soundtracks. Each one of them, and in every movie, he's kissed. He was the first guy to take kissing seriously in Hindi movies. So
Oh, I remember this guy. Yeah. When I was
we've
out there
spoken
last.
about him.
Yeah.
We've spoken about him before when we were reviewing one of his movies with John Ibrahim. I'm forgetting the name of the movie. The movie just released a few months ago, and I told you about him. And then we did an entire playlist of his songs.
Yes,
And his songs
yes.
are always, whenever this guy touches a movie, the songs are excellent.